In recent years, Nigeria has recognized the need for inclusive governance to strengthen democratic framework. However, there remains a critical gap in the political representation and participation of persons living with disabilities, PWDs, who are less than 1% of elected and appointed officials. Despite accounting for an estimated 16% of Nigeria's population, as part of TAF's Africa's contribution to the mainstream of political relevance and participation of persons with disabilities in governance, this town hall meeting has been convened to share learnings from the experiences and perspectives of persons living with disabilities and other stakeholders engaged in the political space to discuss strategies. Jake Epelle, founder of TAF Africa, is our guest this morning. Great to have you. Let's talk about the need for advocacy for persons living with disability, which we don't talk about enough.
Yes, thank you, Rufai, my very good friend. The need for advocacy for participation of persons with disability, the need for it is an understatement. There's a need for concerted effort on the part of all, whether it's the media or the political class, policymakers, NGOs, to get involved in the clarion call for the participation of persons with disability. Very little have been done, and a lot more has to be done. I want to thank the management of Arise for giving us the space and partnering with us, even for a meager contribution in doing this town hall meeting. I have gotten calls from around the country. I have gotten calls from outside the country. And also as an encouragement to show that your channel is being watched all over the world. So a lot more has to be done because there have been very, very important, meaningful steps that the UN system has taken through the Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability. So we do have a legal framework. Here in Nigeria, we also do have the Disability Act, which empowers the political class and the system to get persons with disability involved in politics, especially in elective position as well as appointed position. And so disability inclusion has become the business of all. And everybody, all hands must be on deck. All hands must be on deck to ensure the actualization. Very little effort has yielded results. I mean, you were kind to say 1%. I think it's 0.5%. And so it's a staggering and alarming statistics that should serve as a wake-up call for everyone involved. We need, like you rightly said, to up our game in terms of advocacy. But I think also it's important to underscore some of the challenges that bedevils this process. Some of them are the physical barriers that we still face today, the lack of accessibility to polling stations, the lack of political will for both at the national and the sub-national to appoint persons with disability. We are still bedeviled with this notion that we cannot do it, with this notion that we are not qualified, you know, and what we get is more like a peanut. And it's often said that when you pay peanuts, you will get monkeys. And so there's a need to strengthen the legal framework. There's a need to continue in the advocacy. There's a need to also look at issues like inclusive media, you know, and like I said, thank God for many media houses that have opened up their space, you know, and just this town hall meeting, I got calls from various media owners saying, look, we could do the same thing for you, you know. So it's a good thing that we're having this discussion, and I think it's also very heartwarming that individuals like you, Ruben, and Ayo are also involved in this conversation. You guys are celebrity broadcasters, and you need to help us get involved in making sure that we shout at the rooftop until those who will take decisions will hear it and implement.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your passion, dogged determination to ensure that persons living with disability in Nigeria are fully included in the political process. During the last election, you had the opportunity to advocate, to share a lot. Are there some lessons or wins from the previous elections, especially to go forward, so that we're able to leverage those wins or build up on those wins and continue to do the good work and implement the good work? It would be great to review with the hopes of seeing how we can improve. And then also, who are the people that you're looking forward to seeing at the town hall?
Ayo, thank you. The town hall has already taken place. Arise beamed it live for an hour, 30 minutes. Lesson learned from previous elections. You will recall that my organization, and let me also make a point of correction here. I'm not the only one. There are many other people who are even doing greater work that I am doing. And my job as a community leader is to bring us all together so that we will have a common voice. Just like we've done with even the Constitution Review, we have submitted a memorandum from the community, not individual organization. That's my passion now. How do I bring everybody together without minding who does the work? But let the work be done. So lesson learned, we're learning from the fact that there are some data issues that we need to properly interrogate and analyze so that we will have a credible data by supporting INEC. Other lessons we've learned is the issue of accessibility to polling units, accessibility to for persons with disability, the priority voting, and of course the deployment of disability inclusion resources in the electoral process. And also where lies my passion right now is the appointment of persons with disability. A bit is happening at the national level. We need to see that also happen at the sub-national and even the local government. And that's why my clarion call for persons with disability who are interested in politics to please leave the crowded national elective positions and go to the local government. Go to your community where you are known and ask for position, elective position. Within your community, some of our people have become known stars nationally. You need to go and also practice charity begins at home and go to your locality and fight for election. You did talk about who are the people that we want to get their attention. We want to get the attention from the street house to Aso Rock, to the subnational House of Assembly, the subnational governors. We want to get the attention of media and media owners. We want to get the attention of the common person or people in the streets. We want to get the attention of international development partners. We want to get the attention of celebrities like you and several others. And when we have this kind of influencers, I think we will move the needle at the end of the day.
Okay, Mr. Epelle, one of the things you've said this morning is that there is a need to strengthen the legal framework. There's a legal framework already in place. The Discrimination, Prohibition and Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2018. Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution is also very clear. Then we have the Disabilities Prevention, the Disabilities Commission, the Commission to Prevent Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities. Now, where is the omission in all of this existing framework? And what is the relationship between your body and the Disabilities Commission? which has been there, by the way, since 2020. Secondly, you are talking about advocacy. We had a recent case involving Mr. Adebola Daniel at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, and involving KFC. And that was a big issue, but the issue seems to have died down. KFC reportedly apologized. How many more of those cases are we going to have before the Disabilities Commission, which is actually a law enforcement agency, will wake up?
Thank you, thank you, Uncle Ruben, for your multi-dimensional questions. But let me try and take them one after the other. You talked about the Disability Act and the gaps therein, and other instruments. There's no doubt that you know better than I do that legal instrument is evolving, and we're interrogating all of those instruments. But let me speak to the local instrument, the Disability Act. One of the problems with Disability Act is the fact that it was something that we had to push out at the time without truly and really taking into cognizance all of the emerging issues and what we are seeing at the moment. So there is in the process, we're in the process of interrogating and seeing what clauses to repeal and replace, especially the punitive measures. I'm not a fan of punitive measures, you know, so we're looking at that and what changes. But the problem is, how come we are not even implementing the little instrument that we have? It is grossly under-implemented. And so there's a need for the monitoring mechanism and enforcement measures to be heightened. We've gone through the moratorium. Many organizations, including the building that I am in, are not accessible. And so we need to interrogate that. The other day, I parked at a particular spot designated for persons with disability, and they almost clammed my vehicle. But I was waiting for them to do that because I would have gone to court, because there's a need to test some of these instruments through the lens of the court process, you know. So that's what we are doing, and you're right when you quoted Section 42. Yeah, we're trying to, even in the present Constitution review, we've made some very reasonable recommendation, and during the town hall meeting, we are going to deploy our presence in all the zone, presenting the same issue, even at the national. You talked about the commission. It's important to, first of all, underscore the fact that the commission at the present is grossly underfunded. And I want to commend the leadership of James. He may not be perfect, but he's doing a wonderful, commendable job. Understand that I don't get any support from the commission, so I'm not speaking for them, I'm just stating the obvious, you know. Now, the connection between okay, so let me talk about the omission. Like I said, the omission is implementation. There's no proper implementation. We are underrepresented. There is no appointment of persons with disability across the board. When I say no, that doesn't mean that there is none. There is, but it is grossly undermined in terms of the appointment. Take, for instance, the appointment of special assistant to the president on disability, you know, and then the notion that, oh, well, we have a representation. Please, let me say it here clearly, that we do not have a representation. That guy doesn't pass the State House. Once in a while he does, but he doesn't. I don't know how many times he has seen the president after his appointment. So that is the problem. His office is not in the State House. His office is outside the State House. Okay, so that's stated, you know. So participation, proper implementation, proper design or project that gets the attention and yearning of persons with disability is not there. Let me connect the nexus between the commission and what they have done in the issue of KFC. You will notice that my organization took it upon ourselves. We went through a lot of media, and thank God for your show, because you did address that. Now, the commission invited KFC, and they showed up, you know, and when they showed up, the commission secretary called me, so I came. Guess what? I saw a line manager who came to represent them. And I almost walked out of that meeting, because I said, we don't want to talk to any other person than the decision maker. You know, Uncle Reuben, when God asked to deliver the children of Israel, he didn't send Moses to Deputy Pharaoh. He sent Moses to Pharaoh. So I don't like to negotiate with those who are not in authority. I don't want you to take my word and go and get approval. So we did receive them, and we sent them back to go and get their chief executive, you know, and that should be the position of the commission. But we have taken it upon ourselves to call them to accountability. Time will not allow me. I can go down the history, memory lane of KFC. They are known for this kind of practice, even globally. In Malaysia, this issue came up some years back, and they had to open up some stores specially designated for persons with disability. Now, that's not what we're asking, because it violates the principles of inclusion. Don't open up a particular store for persons with disability. Rather, what we will ask to do is to see that you include persons with disability in the existing stores. That's what validates the principles of inclusion, you know. So we need to continue to push for this. We will hold them accountable, hold them responsible until something is done. They did that in Georgia a few years ago. You know, but that was their staff, and they had to pay $30,000 to that individual.
Wow, seem to have lost connection with Mr. Epelle.